Now at 10, the Joplin City Council holds a work session to discuss the findings of a JPD allocation study. Plus, a prosecutor charges an Independence Community College professor with rape. And
President Biden nominates an ambassador to Ukraine. I'm Deborah Alfrone at the White House with the latest after two U.S. high-ranking officials visit the capital, Kyiv.
The four states' most watched news starts now.
the Joplin City Council hears the results of a study on the Joplin Police Department. This is KOAM News at 10. The study looked into how the department's resources are allocated. It was performed by an outside company who spent the last 13 months studying the department. According to the study, staffing is rated critical. The department is short 7 dispatchers and 25 uniformed officers. Officials say the turnover rate is the highest they've seen, calling it a revolving door.
We know that along with staffing, there's a need to address pay. Pay is a long-standing issue, and it's certainly one that we're going to have to address if we're going to be competitive and attract new officers.
These issues will be brought up again at next Monday's City Council meeting. You can see the full 70-page report on our website, koamnewsnow.com. Possibility of a frost tonight. Checking in with Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it's going to be a cold night. I'm hoping this is the last one. I don't see another one, so that's good news. But if your plants can't take it, cover them up, bring them inside as we drop back later on tonight. Not a bad Monday. It was just kind of cool for late April standards. 62, 43, average high is 72 for this time of the year. Frost advisory out mainly along and north of I-44. We could still get a little patchy of frost in our southern counties, just not widespread. Clear skies, not a whole bunch going on. We're pretty calm. We're actually going to get a nice little stretch of calm weather over the next few days. Upper 40s now, so we are dropping back. The winds are diminishing, so light winds, clear skies. You start to drop about 37 by 7, but tomorrow afternoon looks great. 66 for a high, of course. We're going to look at more thunderstorms as well, all coming up here in a bit.
Say that. An Independence Community College associate professor is charged with rape. Lawrence Markowitz is an associate professor of instrumental music at ICC. He was arrested on Friday, but today he was officially charged with 1 count each of rape, attempted rape, aggravated sexual battery, and furnishing alcohol to a minor. Markowitz's attorney says he's been placed on paid administrative leave from ICC. Special prosecutor has been hired for this case. Markowitz will make his first formal court appearance tomorrow. A Fairland, Oklahoma woman is charged with manslaughter in a February hit and run in Ottawa County that resulted in a man's death. Authorities say Mindy McBrien was driving east on Steve Owens Boulevard in Miami when she hit Guangjin Yi, who was riding a scooter. Police say she drove off and was later found with her car run off the road. She's charged with first-degree manslaughter and leaving the scene of a fatality accident. Firefighters rescue a man from a submerged SUV in Shoal Creek. The Highway Patrol says the driver was going north on Gateway Drive in Newton County this morning when his SUV left the road and traveled down the bank and into the water under the bridge. An investigator says the driver had fallen asleep at the wheel. The Reddings Mill Water Rescue Team managed to get him to the shore without injuries. The Reddings Mill Fire Department and Metro Towing later managed to get that SUV out of the water. The Joplin School District is revamping its summer school curriculum. Students will have the opportunity for more personalized learning of their choosing, and 2 hours of each school day will feature more hands-on learning. The goal is to have students more engaged and attentive during the school day.
The biggest thing is the hands-on camp time. Because we're devoting 2 hours every day to it, and the excitement that we've seen from teachers and from students, the attendance is going to be higher. We're going to have I think the overall atmosphere is going to be, it's going to be more fun this year.
Junior high classes will partner with a nonprofit called Project Accelerus for its curriculum. High school students will work with Franklin Tech to explore career paths. Missouri's 2 U.S. senators introduced a resolution to honor 3 fallen police officers with connections to the 4 states. Two of the officers are Corporal Ben Cooper and Officer Jake Reed of the Joplin Police Department. They were killed in a shootout in early March. A third officer, Rick Hershey, was also shot in that incident but survived. The third officer being honored in this resolution is Patrolman Lane Burns of the Bonne Terre Police Department. Burns is a Carthage native who was shot and killed in the line of duty on March 17th. The resolution expresses condolences to the families of these fallen officers and to other members of law enforcement. A Kansas District Court judge today struck down a new Republican-backed congressional map. The map faced lawsuits claiming it would likely make it harder for the only Democrat in the state's delegation to win re-election this year. The judge's ruling is the first time a court has declared that the Kansas Constitution prohibits political gerrymandering. The state has appealed to the Kansas Supreme Court. Both President Biden and the leader of Ukraine described today's meeting in Kyiv with Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin as good. The two top Biden administration officials traveled covertly by train into Ukraine's capital. They're the highest-ranking U.S. officials to make that trip there since the Russian invasion began, and they say more U.S. diplomats will be there in the coming weeks. Deborah Alfarone has more now from the White House.
President Biden has announced his intention to nominate career diplomat Bridget Brink to be the U.S. ambassador to Ukraine. She currently serves as the U.S. ambassador to Slovakia. The official White House announcement came after U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin met for about 3 hours with President Volodymyr Zelensky and his staff in Kyiv.
When it comes to Russia's war aims, Russia is failing. Ukraine is succeeding.
During the visit, the two leaders said the U.S. Embassy in Kyiv will reopen in the coming weeks, and American diplomats will start making day trips into the country next week, starting in the western city of Lviv.
We're doing it carefully. We're doing it with the security of our personnel foremost in mind.
The U.S. secretaries also announced $700 million in military financing for Ukraine and nearby allies, amid Moscow's warnings against sending more arms into Ukraine.
We want to see Russia weakened to the degree that it can't do the kinds of things that it has done in invading Ukraine.
Monday, Russian forces launched strikes against Ukrainian railways, which are vital to moving supplies and evacuating civilians. Meanwhile, Russia says it is investigating large fires at two of its oil depots near the town of Bryansk, which is not far from Ukraine's border. Deborah Alfarone, CBS News, the White House.
After the meeting in Kyiv, Secretary of State Blinken traveled back to the U.S., while Defense Secretary Austin stayed in Germany for meetings with allies. The UN Secretary General will travel to Moscow this week to convince Russian President Vladimir Putin to end the war. Afterward, he will also go to Kyiv. Coming up, the push by several states and countries to move toward a 4-day work week. Plus, the FDA approves an antiviral drug to treat COVID in small children. Billionaire Elon Musk has reached an agreement to acquire Twitter for about $44 billion, according to the company. The outspoken Tesla CEO, the world's wealthiest person, has said he wants to buy Twitter because he thinks it's not living up to its potential as a platform for free speech. He says it needs to be transformed as a private company in order to build trust with users. Twitter said it will become a privately held company after the sale is closed. California lawmakers are considering a bill to make the standard work week 32 hours instead of 40 hours. If it becomes law, it'll apply to workers in companies with 500 or more employees. At the same time, there's a global push to have more companies adopt a shorter work week. Elise Preston explains.
Patton Hindle works from home for Kickstarter, a crowdfunding site that helps new businesses raise money. Now the company is starting its own new project, changing its employee work week from 5 days to just 4.
Across the board, we're seeing within the company that people are very happy.
Hindle says working 32 hours a week and having an extra day off gives her more quality time with her stepson.
And so instead of me coming back here and sitting down and working, I was able to actually come back, watch a movie, spend time with him, and give him the attention and love that he really wanted.
Kickstarter is part of a pilot program with dozens of other companies testing this new model for 6 months. Joe O'Connor is CEO of 4-Day Week Global, which is running the program. Their research has shown 78% of employees with a shorter week are happier and less stressed, and 63% of businesses find it easier to attract and retain talent.
It's had an enormous transformative impact on people's lives in terms of improved well-being, improved work-life balance, reduced stress and reduced burnout.
A Denver company that adopted a 4-day work week saw productivity stay the same, and that's what leaders at Kickstarter are expecting.
People think that productivity is a function of just hours worked, and it really isn't. It matters how focused people are, how engaged they are at work.
What are you hoping happens after this 6-month pilot? Do you want it to stick around? Do you want it to go back to a 5-day work week?
That's a great question. I think you know the answer.
I gotta ask.
we definitely want it to stay around.
Patton is far from alone. In a survey, 92% of workers support the idea of moving to a 4-day work week. Elise Preston, CBS News, New York.
In Iceland, most employees have a 4-day work week. Last month, Belgium announced workers can opt to work 4 10-hour days. There's a new weapon approved to fight COVID in small children. The FDA today approved remdesivir to treat COVID in patients as young as 28 days old. The antiviral drug is given as an injection. It was previously approved for patients 12 years of age and older. The FDA's action makes it the first drug approved to treat COVID in kids younger than 12. That's important because there is still no vaccine for children under 5. In order to receive remdesivir, infected kids must either already be hospitalized or deemed at high risk for developing severe COVID. A little bit later, Freeman Health System announces it's bringing back a summer learning program.
Plus a cold night for us tonight, but we do start to warm things back up. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. A little chilly for this time of the year, but it's going to be cold for us tonight. I'm hoping this is our last frost. Hopefully we don't have to worry about this anymore, but especially areas along the north of I-44, we are going to get a frost. And if you think this is late in the season, this is actually almost smack dab our average last frost that we usually get in the spring months. Pretty nice weather though. Over the next couple days, we are going to get some storms in here later this week, of course. You can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog, KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Looks good just outside of Seneca, Missouri. We have clear skies right now. The allergies, if you're an allergy sufferer, you are going to be suffering as we go through the next few days. Today was a 7 out of 10. Tomorrow's a 9 out of 10. These are mainly tree allergies, but they have been on the rise over the past several days. You can see 50s yesterday. We popped into the 60s for highs today, and we're going to continue to go in the right direction. Minus tonight, we're going to continue to go in the right direction over the next few days. Upper 40s out there right now, so we are dropping back. The winds have diminished. We've had these northerly winds at about 5 to 10, and these have dropped back near calm. So clear skies, calm winds behind a cold front, your temperatures start to take a dip. 48, humidity is at 77%. Frost advisory in effect, mainly I-44 and north. It doesn't mean our southern counties won't get a little bit of patchy frost, but the counties that are highlighted, you have the best opportunity to get a widespread frost, which is why if your plants can't take it, go cover them up or bring them in real quickly as our temperatures continue to drop. Clear skies, nothing going on here. So this storm system that gave us all the rain yesterday, the light showers, it continues to head away from us. If we go out toward the west, not a whole bunch going on until you hit this system in the Pacific Northwest. That will be our next system that will start to affect us Thursday into Friday. Until then, we're okay. Frosty tonight, plenty of sunshine tomorrow, near 60 by noon. We're going to warm into the mid 60s during the afternoon. You can see these kind of light easterly winds. Here's your day planner. We'll start at 37, 61 by noon. High temp is 66. Northerly winds are going to be light. at about 5 to 10. Tomorrow night, not as chilly. Lower 40s. Wednesday, we pop up even warmer. Lower 70s. It's not going to be too windy. Wednesday is going to be a fantastic day. Clouds increase Wednesday night. Could get some scattered showers and thunderstorms trying to work in here by Thursday morning. These would be non-severe, but these would be scattered showers and thunderstorms. Maybe a few more popping up Thursday afternoon that could be a little bit stronger, and then a stronger storm system is going to roll out on Friday. So we'll have to keep our eyes on Friday afternoon, but let's not worry about that just yet. 66 tomorrow, 72 on Wednesday, 68 Thursday, 75 Friday. Morning showers Saturday, but most of the weekend looks pretty good. So after tonight, temperatures not bad across the board.
Yeah, the problem is tonight.
Yeah, got to get through tonight.
Yeah, a lot of things are blooming and budding out there.
True.
Don't want a frost. Thanks, John. Freeman Health System is bringing back its summer program. It's called Freeman Health Academy. It offers people a chance to get some hands-on learning in a real healthcare setting. Anyone age 16 and up can submit an application. There will be 4 one-week sessions available this summer. The first is from June 13th through the 17th, then June 20th through 24th, July 5th through 8th, and July 25th through the 29th. Each session will have up to 15 participants. The County College Board of Trustees today announced Dr. Stephanie Niles as the school's 13th president. Dr. Niles had been serving as Vice President for Enrollment and Communications at Ohio Wesleyan University in Delaware, Ohio. Before that, she worked at several other universities, including Dickinson College and the University of Tennessee. Her first day with COTI will be July 1st. Still ahead, conference recognition for a Pitt State pitcher after throwing a no-hitter last Friday. And the Columbus Titans aim to stay undefeated in a home game against Colgan, a doubleheader. Jacob Leonard joins us with the highlights up next.
Well, Pittsburgh and Chanute have been the 2 best baseball teams in the SEK to this point. Now, Chanute enters the day in first place with a 5-1 league record. Pittsburgh is right behind them at 4-1. Now, today the 2 teams meet in Pittsburgh for the second time this spring. The Dragons trying to sweep the season series. In the bottom of the first, Jackson Turnbull liner up the middle. Cooper Hayden and Dawson Stegman both score. Turnbull drives in 3 today. A couple batters later, it's Braden Benson doing the same thing. Lines one into center. 2 RBIs on the single there. Dragons would get 4 in the bottom of the first. On the top of the second, Chanute gets something going. Elijah Christie hammers it deep to left, bounces off the wall. It's a double for Christie, gets runners on second, third. But after that, Jackson Turnbull ends the inning with 3 consecutive strikeouts. Turnbull strikes out 10 in 5 innings. Pittsburgh shuts out Chanute in this one 7-0. Well, the Columbus Titans are still perfect coming into the day. The Titans are 11-0 to begin their schedule, including a 4-0 mark in CNC League play. Now, Columbus tries to stay unbeaten, hosting a conference doubleheader tonight against Colgan. Game 1 here, bottom of the second. Colt Ungehauer up for Columbus. Big swing here. Clears the fence out in left center. Home run. Titans jump out to the early lead. The next inning, played long ball. Now it's time for small ball. Landon Midget bunts. He's thrown out at first. The throw to get the runner at third gets away. Cade Saporito comes home. At that point, it is 3-1 home team. Then Saporito working at the plate, shoots it back up the middle to add another run for Columbus. Titans win a good one in Game 1 over Colgan 6-3. So Game 2, Titans try to make it a sweep. And that's what they did, taking that one 10-0. Titans are now 13-0 this season. Now on the Missouri side, big opportunity for the Joplin Eagles this evening, hosting the 8th-ranked Kickapoo Chiefs. A low-scoring game, and the Eagles, they were right there, but they fall in the end 2-1. Joplin is right back on the field tomorrow night, hosting Ozark. Well, Pitt State's Paul Panduro has been named the MIAA Pitcher of the Week. Panduro made a little history last Friday in his start against Newman. Panduro threw a no-hitter in the team's 9-0 win over the Jets. It's the 3rd no-hitter in Pitt State history and the first 9-inning no-hitter. His 16 strikeouts, also a program record. We talked to him today, and here he is on what was working for him on Friday night.
I think the main important thing that actually worked for me was having my confidence back. Getting to, throw one ball, so what? Come out and throw another strike. And also the energy, it was electric. My teammates were very supportive. Like Austin Bono, every inning, he'd be like, hey, nothing's changed. Let's go out there, get 1, 2, 3, come back in. And that's what I did.
Finally, the St. Louis Cardinals open a 3-game series at home against the Mets tonight. Now, the Cards have 2 series wins in a row. They've won 6 of their last 9 games. Now, this one here, just a wild game. It was scoreless until the 8th. St. Louis got 2 in the bottom of the 8th, but turned around and gave up 5 in the top of the 9th. And that was the final. Game 2 will be tomorrow night at 6:45. But that's it for sports. We're back with more news after this.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Oscar Evans served in the U.S. Army from 1943 to 1951. The Webb City, Missouri native was stationed in England and Korea. And we salute technician Oscar Evans, a 4-state hero. Nearly a dozen ducklings were rescued Friday by staff from the Overland Park, Kansas Parks and Animal Control Department. The ducklings, swimming at South Lake Park, swam into an overflow spillway. There were 11 in total. Officials say staff spent several hours saving the ducklings, but in the end, they all lived happily ever after. So far, anyway.
You have signs that say, don't swim here.
They should.
Yeah.
But these ducklings are probably too young to read.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. They'll get there.
Yeah, maybe. Not exactly duckling weather.
No.
Penguin weather, perhaps.
Yeah,
tonight.
a little frosty out there for us tonight as we drop back mid-30s. Tomorrow, next couple days are going to be fantastic. 66, 72 on Wednesday. Thunderstorm chances later this week.
Final sports notes.
We've put our full story on our website with Paul Panduro being named the MIAA Pitcher of the Week. It was actually a cool story. It was the first time his parents saw him pitch this year, and he threw a no-hitter, so
nice.
Go check it out.
It was emotional for him and his parents.
For sure.
He told us at 6. Thanks for joining us. Morning show, 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.